think I have a new way of looking at life.
Okay.
Take your least favorite thing and be whatever Matthew Nyes is to the Tampa Bay Lightning to that thing.
That's kind of brilliant.
I know.
Let's go!
Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great
Finger flick.
You're allowed to show up.
This team is ruining my life! I'm taking crazy pills! With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
Victory, Puppy Ziggy! These are big ones. 3 for 3 straight wins. There's one. We're redeeming ourselves. Why are you taking so long? That was a snatch. Yeah! Buddy, let's go. High five. High five. Give me a... Yeah! You're so old. I love you. Hey, wait. Nope. Before I do the fist bump thing, can I show you what William Nylander said? It's funny. Nylander on the 3-game winning streak. It doesn't matter. It's 3 games. If that dude ran for mayor, he would win. Leafs win! 5-3 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. This Monday's game was something that happens game after game after game. No, I'm not talking about switching back and forth between TSN and Sportsnet until you figure out that it's on Amazon. New things are difficult to work into a routine, but we all do it. No, I'm talking about the Leafs beating the Lightning. Do you understand it? I don't know, whatever. It works. They beat them all the time. You know what's so funny? The Lightning announced that Jonas Johansson, their backup goaltender, who never plays, was going to be playing against the Leafs today. And some people were like, ooh, what does it say that the Lightning are playing Vasilevsky tomorrow on the second half of a back-to-back against Montreal? And, does that mean that the Lightning think the Canadians are better than the Leafs? Listen, they might think that, but you know what it really is? Vasilevsky sucks against the Leafs. Sorry, wait, no, okay, correction. Since Game 6 and 7 in 2022. From that moment onward, he was really good. But then after that, he's been really bad. Really bad. Confusingly bad. The team around him, also bad. At very least, second best. And that, I gotta be honest, is the best. Look, the Leafs are trying to win 3 straight games. That's so many games. But what are we looking at here? You're looking at the New Jersey Devils game where the Devils got up 1-0 less than 2.5 minutes into that game. Although you did win. And the Montreal Canadiens game where you were not the better team right out of the gate and they were up 3-0 after the first period. Also won that game. That was a lot of fun. But, you know what'd be killer? Actually having a good start of your own. And I don't know what you thought, let me know in the comment box down below, but to me, in the first period, the Leafs were thoroughly the better team against Tampa, and they ought to be. They were on home ice. Barely 4 minutes into the game, Matthew Nyes, who had a fantastic night, the whole first line had a fantastic night, he finds Austin Matthews streaking in. Mitch Marner is there hanging out on the wing as well, and even though he doesn't touch the puck or even get an assist on this goal, that's a big reason for why this goal goes in. Because Ryan McDonagh is there, and he has the option to go right after Matthews, or at very least put pressure on him before he takes a shot, and maybe the shot's not as accurate or as hard. Because Marner is there, McDonagh doesn't commit. Matthews goes cool, vaporizes the puck 5-hole, and it's 1-0 Leafs! Since returning from injury, the second time, Austin Matthews has played in 9 games. He's only failed to score in 2 of them. One was January 5th against the Flyers. He didn't have a goal, but he had 2 assists. And the other was against the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't have a point because no one did. But when Matthews came back from injury the first time, he didn't look right. Something was off. Since returning the second time, Matthews has 8 goals in 9 games. I think he's back. Hilariously, his final game before going out with an injury on December 20th, he scored. For a huge chunk of the beginning of the season, Matthews was playing hurt or at very least not at 100%. He still has 19 goals in 33 games, which is a 47 goal pace. In case you're wondering, 8 goals in 9 games is a 73 goal pace. Leaf fans, leave a comment in the comment box down below. Do you remember life before Austin Matthews? Do you? Not for me. No, this is better. Anyway, there were 7 goals speeded up Steven. It's 1-0 Leafs. That's how we would leave the first period. And honestly, it was a reverse of last game in that it was the Lightning who were fortunate to get out of that period only down 1-0. Because now we're deep into the second period. Over halfway through the second period, it's still 1-0. The Lightning are coming back. They're coming to life. They're having a much better second period, catching up in shots. Until the Flash shows up! Because honestly, that's what William Nylander is.
The way this dude, how does he get so many breakaways? You ever sit there and wonder? Don't get mesmerized by the breakaway itself. Pay attention to how it happens. Morgan Rielly has the puck. Where should I send it? Where should I send it? Oh, I'm going to send it to that open guy. And the reason he's open is Nick Perbix didn't check the game notes, and William Nylander, the moment Nick Perbix takes his eyes off him, is gone. I think the term hockey sense gets thrown around too much and people don't always exactly agree on what it means. To me, hockey sense is just knowing what's going on in a hockey game. Nylander identifies and processes what's going on faster than most other people. Maybe not in all situations, but definitely in these ones. And Morgan Rielly, the puck hasn't even left his stick. He's like, yep, that's a free point. Willie breakaway, snipe! Poor Jonas Johansson. It's basically a 2-on-1 breakaway-ish with Austin Matthews and a breakaway with William Nylander. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do there. It's 2-0 Leafs. Now, hey, this is the Lightning, though. Sure, the Leafs have had good luck against them recently, but you're not going to run these guys out of the building. Not like, well, earlier in the season. That was different. It was October. Matt Sundin was in the building. Everyone was feeling good. It's not going to happen here, and just to prove it, Darren Radish blasted it on, and Nick Paul with the deflection. Someone should be asking the real questions, like, why is it always Nick Paul? And the Leafs head into intermission with their lead cut in. What? Matthews across the line. Mitch Marner, I don't know what he's going to. What? Matthew Knies with a breakaway. Hands. Goal! Matthew Knies couldn't own the Lightning more if he was a rock-type Pokemon. Don't judge me. That was very good. It was good. Look at you. You're not I got you. That was good. You'll warm up. It's a nice goal from Knies, and he scores another one of those later in the game. The feed from Marner's despicable. What kind of an actual alien from outer space do you need to be to make this pass? Look how many white jerseys there are, sticks there are. Most players in the NHL don't have the confidence to make this pass because most players in the NHL cannot make this pass. Well, they could try and get it picked off and have it go the other way and then go back to the bench where you will be yelled at. This is actual Marner magic, and the Leafs go into intermission with a 2-goal lead, 3-1. Third period starts and it's weird. Like, we can't help but have respect for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Sorry, some of you just sneered. I didn't say like them. Dude, I don't like them. Ew. Do you like the ew? But dude, you gotta respect them. Stanley Cup Final in 2015, a lot of the same dudes are still on this team. 2019, you set the wins record with 62, promptly choke, and then go on to win back-to-back Stanley Cups and go to 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals. No one is willing to write them off because it would be a genuinely dumb thing to do. And the third period begins and the minutes tick by and we're still waiting for the Lightning to show up. Darren Radish blasts it on and actually scores this time, and all of a sudden you're real glad they have a 2-goal cushion. They just always feel like a threat to score at any given moment. Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, just a lineup of killers when they are not quitting on the game and whining like a baby. We'll get to that. But the Leafs, just like they did in the second period, don't let up. Emil Lilleberg trips Pontus Holmberg and kind of injures him for the Lightning's first penalty of the night halfway through the third. And maybe there should have been more penalties called against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Not because I wanted the Leafs to score, but just to give the Lightning some practice. Because the Leafs are using this 5-forward formation. They haven't been using it for very long, but after a little bit of a struggle, they've been pretty good recently. And one thing you might not want to do against this particular group of men is leave the biggest one of them wide open in front of your goalie. This is utterly disrespectful. I know you have fewer guys on the ice than the team that you're playing. That's the whole point of a penalty kill. You do not leave Matthew Knies open like that. He's a talented player, he's a fun player, but he is not a particularly complicated player because he has one thing in mind and one thing only: go to the net! The puck winds up on his stick, and Matthew Knies has exactly 2 to 3 business days to tuck this thing past Jonas Johansson. Matthew Knies with 18 goals. This guy's going to have a lot by the end of the season if he keeps this up, and the Leafs restore the 2-goal lead. Dude, I'm appreciating Matthew Knies' game more and more every game. We know he's a Jeep. We know he has a willingness to go to the net. Dude, his defensive chops last game against Montreal on the penalty kill, I really appreciated. His hands. No. Big guys aren't supposed to have hands like this. Listed at 6'3", 227 pounds with hands like that? Who made you, Professor Oak? That was another Pokemon reference. You'll get there. Listen, he's got some things to work out. He's mostly got consistency issues, but when he's on, oh my God. We always talk about the core four. The core four, obviously Tavares is out right now, but when Matthew Knies is on, it's not the core four. It's five. Now, that was cool. What would have been a lot cooler is if David Kampf didn't take a penalty immediately, giving the Tampa Bay Lightning a power play of their own. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning score on the power play, Nick Paul getting his second of the game. And yes, it's a question I've asked before, but it bears repeating. Why is it always Nick Paul? Now, listen, there isn't the same doubt with this year's Leafs team that there have been in the past, you know, the ability to hold on to a lead. But the respect I still have for the Lightning, there's 8 minutes left and it's only a 1-goal lead, and I don't like any of this. Matthews went for a cheeky Michigan. That was a lot of fun. Executed it absolutely perfectly, but apparently so did Jonas Johansson. Most goalies just sort of freeze and don't know what to do. Puck goes the other way. The puck hits the Leafs crossbar, bounces down basically right in front of the goal line, and then the hockey gods go and then Chris Tanev does the rest, pretty close. Matthew Knies nearly gets the Hattie. Bobby McMahon could have had a couple empty netters. But at the end of the day, it was the long bomb trickler from Mitch Marner to seal the thing 5-3. And did you get a glimpse of Marner's reaction? Look at this dude. Look at this dude. He just iced the game. The game's over. The Leafs win. You win. There's a minute and 5 seconds left in this game. You have a 2-goal lead. You won. That was a little bit of work to do, but you won. You won. This is not the first time this season I've noticed this in Mitch. And during wins, that's important. You're going to be grumpy or surly when you lose. You show me someone who handles losing well, and I'll show you someone who's a little too used to it. But during the wins? You know what it reminds me of? And yes, it's a regular season game in January. It's not the same. But it was either during the Eastern Conference Final or NBA Final. The Toronto Raptors, I remember Kyle Lowry did it. I'm pretty sure Kawhi Leonard did it, and I think maybe Norman Powell. Every time they headed out on the road, they were just like, it's a business trip. Yeah, you got the win. Hooray. It's a business trip. Yeah, all right, we got the 2-goal lead. There's a minute 5 to go. Even after we win the game. All right, it's 2 points. When the Leafs lost 3 straight, William Nylander said, it's 3 games. What's the big deal? He followed that up with a 2-goal fantastic effort against the New Jersey Devils, including the OT winner. Now, here we are 3 games later. They have won 3 straight games, 8 of 11 games. And he has the same mindset. We know Willie is thinking that way because he said it. I think Mitch is thinking that way. I think this team has the right attitude for this season. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Just play your best brand of hockey and see what happens. And by the way, during this winning streak, don't look now, but this team that has had such a frustrating time scoring at times, 4 goals, 7 goals, 4 goals again. If a team with improved defense, way improved goaltending, waiting for Anthony Stolarz to come back, can score the way they've been scoring, oh yeah, they'll be in the conversation way up top in the league. Questions. 7 goals and 13 points in 8 games against Tampa for Knies. Certified lightning killer? Dude, it's about time, because up to and including the year 2022, the biggest Leafs killers in the world were Leafs, especially against the Lightning, and Andrei Vasilevsky. Oh, and Brandon Hagel. Oh, Brandon Hagel. Oh, I can't wait to reluctantly cheer for you in a few weeks. I don't know if he has an extra determination about it. I don't know if it's a playstyle thing. Why does Matthews keep lighting up the Devils? Like, even better than divisional rivals? I don't know. Why does Knies keep lighting up the Lightning like the 4th of July? I don't know, but I hope he keeps it up. How happy are you with Wool's extension? Dude, you know how much I love Joseph Wool's extension? I don't even need to look it up. Next year is the beginning of a 3-year contract extension where Joseph Wool is going to be making $3.66 million against the cap. This year, he makes less than league minimum because he signed a 3-year deal at less than the current league minimum 3 years ago. I believe the cap hit is either $776,000 or no. It's $766,000 against the cap. To have Joseph Woll making that and Anthony Stolarz making $2.5 million, preposterous. Even when Wool's extension kicks in and Stolarz is signed for next season, the Leafs will be paying their goalie tandem a hair over $6 million. There are some goalies in the NHL who can barely play a game right now making close to that. Hey Steve, love the videos. Thank you. Question, despite the reputation that the Leafs have for choking away third period leads, which even you acknowledge is real, can you believe the NHL Network confirmed that this is the 27th game in a row that the Leafs had the lead going into the third and won? I can believe it because, believe it or not, the Leafs have been good at this for quite some time. However, can I just throw this out there? whoever found that stat and then decided to put it on air, lower your freaking voice! Oh God, when's the next game? Wednesday? All right, there it is. There's the end of that streak. Thanks. Those last couple minutes, Kucherov kind of gave up, hey? Been a minute since we last saw that in Toronto, and it's him wearing an all-star toque and just filling his diaper up to the waistband. Okay, so in the dying minutes of this game, the Lightning trying to tie it, you got ice-sticked. Yeah, calls get missed sometimes. They shouldn't, and I understand why you're mad when they get missed, but ask Connor McDavid. Sometimes they miss them, for and against. But what was weird about Kucherov at the end of the game was how casual and nonchalant and just obviously not caring he was. This guy's had some really weird moments with the Lightning, dude. Like, after that high stick wasn't called, he basically took his ball and went home. A lot of people don't remember this, but there was the end of the Colorado Avalanche series in the Stanley Cup final where the game, you could still score. You could still score, dude. There's time on the clock. You have the puck. What are you doing? He took his ball and went home. During the series against the Columbus Blue Jackets where the Lightning weren't doing so well, he made a bad hit, got a suspension, took his ball and went home. But, like I've said, I think you take the good with the bad. You need players who have a screw loose. Nikita Kucherov is a top 5 most talented player in the NHL. There are things he can do that fewer than half a dozen people on the planet can do. And he does that all while being a legitimate threat to your life at any given moment. Maybe if you're that emotional of a person, sometimes you act like a baby. Sometimes he acts like a baby. But the counter to that is a lot of the time he's an axe-wielding murderer who can score like 150 points in a season. And if you're a Lightning fan, you take that. I want to wrap this up with a few quotes from credentialed reporter Jesse Blake. Austin Matthews on his Michigan attempt. I didn't see any other option. The puck was rolling. It was the beginning of the period, so the tape was fresh. I almost had it. I kind of quit attempting those a couple years ago, but I just thought that was a reasonable attempt. Dude, he's right, and he almost scored it. He pulled it off perfectly. That is the best he has ever pulled one of those off. If only Jonas Johansson didn't read it. And this is neat. Craig Berube on the Leaf Stars. They've stepped up, for sure, and done the job. And we need them to. They've got to lead the way every night. They're the leaders, the top players, and they get to lead the way. And I think we're getting that right now. Dude, I'm hard on these guys. Leaf fans are hard on these guys. But I keep bringing up the salary cap. The way everything is structured, the money, the time on ice, the power play opportunity, everything about this team has to flow through the big guys. When they're rolling, and they're rolling like this, even if they're missing one of them, the Leafs are a really difficult team to beat. And lastly, we have to shout this out because it's so ridiculous. From NHL PR, Mitch Marner finishes with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points, which established his 123rd career multi-assist game. Only 3 players have more since Marner entered the league in the 2016-17 season. That's Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon and Nikita Kucherov. At the bottom, it says Marner tops franchise list. Mitch Marner passed Boreas Salming, who had 122 multi-assist games, for the most multi-assist games in Maple Leafs history. He's 27. The dude is 27. Listen, Marner, Matthews, Nylander probably gets into this conversation. These guys, the longer they play, I can't believe Marner's played over 700 games in the NHL now. The longer these guys play, the more points they put up. They've racked up a few individual awards. We're watching Hockey Hall of Fame careers in the making. We are, with a very obvious gap. A very obvious something to zhuzh up the career. A very obvious they haven't won in the playoffs. They know that. Every single one of them knows that. And that's why you see reactions like Willie's and Mitch's after a big win like this. It's a business trip. The goal of the night was to win that game. But the goal of the season is much higher. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. head on over to SDPN. I made another video about McDavid and Tyler Myers' 3-game suspensions each